Welcome to my video on histograms. When you have a question on histograms, it's likely to be one of two things. First of all, you could be asked to draw a histogram, or secondly, you could be given an existing histogram and you could be asked to calculate the frequency. So I'm going to show you both of these two. Be aware that the questions could be a bit more complicated than that, but in essence, these are the two skills you need to be able to do. So first of all, drawing a histogram. The first thing we need to calculate is the frequency density. As you can see, on the vertical axis, you have to have the frequency density. The horizontal axis will be time or height or length or whatever the histogram is about. So in this case, the first thing we need to do is find the frequency density. To find the frequency density, and you just need to memorize this, to find the frequency density, all you do is you take the frequency and you divide that by the class width. So, for example, if you look at the table that I have there, to calculate the frequency density of time between 0 and 10, you do 12 divide by the class width. So the class is from 0 to 10, so that width is 10. So you do 12 divided by 10, which is 1.2. The next one, 15 divided by 5, because 10 to 15 is 5 units. 15 divided by 5 is 3. 7 divided by 2 is 3.5, and 8 divided by 5. Now this is a trickier one because if you don't have a calculator, this happens quite a lot. So we've got 8 divided by 5. If you can't do 8 divided by 5 without a calculator, scale it up so it's out of 10. So 16 divided by 10 would be 1.6. And I've missed one out. 12 divided by 3, which is 4. Okay, so there we go. We've got the frequency densities. Now we need to just draw it in a graph. So from 0 to 10, the frequency density is 1.2. So from 0 to 10, 1.2. So all you do is you go from 0 to 10, which is there, and we need to go up to 1.2. So there's my first bar. The next bar is from 10 to 15, I want to go up to 3. From 10 to 15, go up to 3. So from 10 to 15, so that's 12, that's 14, so 15 is in the middle of those two squares, and I want to go up to 3. So all the way up to 3, 10 to 15. So something like that. And then from 15 to 17, 3.5. 15 to 17, so 17 would be there. And I want to go up to 3.5. So that's 2.4.5. And the next one is from 17 to 20, I want to go up to 4. From 17 to 20, go up to 4. So that would be there. And then finally, from 20 to 25, I want to go up to 1.6. 20 to 25, go up to 1.6. So 20 to 25, and that is 1 is there, 1.2, 1.4, 1.6. And just always make sure that you work the scale out properly. And there we go, there's my histogram drawn. So the next question that you may get is you may be given a histogram and you have to calculate the frequency. So there's another rule, and that is to calculate the frequency, you just get the area of the bar, which means the same as frequency density multiplied by class width. But if you just remember it as finding the area of a bar. So don't overcomplicate this, because each bar is just a rectangle. So if I ask you to find the area of this bar, you would just go, it's 4 units across and it's 2 units up. So length times width is 4 times 2, which is 8. So the frequency from 0 to 4 is just 8. Next one, if I have 2 units across and 7 units up, 2 times by 7 is 14. So the 4 to 6 group is 14. 4 multiplied by 4 is 16. So that's 16. And 5 multiplied by 2 is 10. So 10 to 15 is 10. Okay, so that's basically all you need to know about histograms. So this question is straight from an exam. If you pause the video, have a little go, and then play it again to check your answer. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is calculate the frequency density. And in an exam, this would be your first method mark. So you do 7 divided by 2, which is 3.5. You do 14 divided by 2, which is 7. 18 divided by 4. So let's just look at this one. If you do 18 divided by 4, this would be in a non-calculator paper. You may not know what 18 divided by 4 is, but cancel it down to 9 over 2, and then you should know that it's 4.5. In the same way, the next one's simple, actually, because it's 24 divided by 8, which is 3. But the next one, again, is 10 divided by 4. If you can't do 10 divided by 4, write it as 5 divided by 2, and you should know that that is 2.5. Okay, so we now need to do a histogram of this. So the first thing you need to do is set out the axes. So this is how I've set it out. You may have done it differently. And now all I'm going to do is plot or draw the bars on. So the first bar needs to go from 0 to 2, and it has to go up to 3.5. So from 0 to 2, we want to go up to 3.5. So that's 3 there. So 3.5 is there. The next bar goes from 4 to 8. No, from 2 to 4, and it goes up to 7. So from 2 to 4, all the way up to 7. So there. The next bar goes from 4 to 8, all the way up to 4.5. So from 4 to 8, all the way to 4.5, which is there. And the next one from 8 to 16, from 8 to 16, and we want to go up to 3. So there. And the last one from 16 to 20, and we want to go up to 2.5. So from 16 to 20, 2.5. So that's 2. That's 2.5. And that's it. My histogram is drawn. And then finally, again, if you pause and then have a go at this question, this again is a typical exam question. Okay, so the issue that I have here is that I don't actually know what the frequency density goes up in. And when this happens, you will always find that you have one piece of information in the table that you also have on the graph. Because you know, if you look at the table, you know that the frequency density should be 10 divided by, so the frequency divided by the class width. So 10 divided by 10, which is 1. And in the same way, I know that this frequency density should be 15 divided by 15, which is also 1. And this should be 8 divided by 20. If you're not sure what 8 divided by 20 is in a non-calculator paper, cancel it down to 4 divided by 10, so you know that this should be 0.4. Okay, so this will give you a good idea of what your axis should go up in. So the first bit from 40 to 50 should go up to 1, which means that this is definitely 1. So that means that 10 little squares is 1, which means that's 2, that's 3, that's 4, that's 5, and that is 6. Right, so we're now ready to fill in the table. Now remember, if you already have a bar that is drawn for you, then to find the frequency, you get the area of the bar. So let's look at the 50 to 55 bar. So it's obviously 5 units wide. And if we look at how many units it goes up 4.5, 6, 7, 8. So it's 4.8 units long. So to calculate the area of the bar, we'll just do 4.8 times 5, which is 24. So the frequency for the 50 to 55 bar is 24. The next one is the 55 to 60. Again, it is 5 wide, so 5 units wide, but this time it goes up to 6. So 5 times 6, which is 30. We can check the last two. 60 to 65 has a frequency density of 1, so we should get 15 times 1, which is 15, and so 15 times 1, which is 15, which is correct. And in the same way, we've got 20 units across and 0.4, and 20 times by 0.4 is indeed 8. So that's it. This is what you can expect in an exam question on histograms. Thank you.